That's good.
I think they got some cameras and stuff like that.
We ought to have our city golf cart up. Can you get there from Mary C on it? Yeah, or it'll be cold.
Yeah.
That temp's dropping out there quick right now.
I know it. It's going to be chilly that night, too.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to go down like 39, but
There's no Castle Springer hat.
in fact, it says.
I didn't recognize him. I know Kathy well.
There's Heath in the hospital. What they doing there?
Hey, you know, you going to the, you gonna be stuck on the 12th of November? Kids camping.
I don't know anything about it.
Well,
You volunteering? Is that what you said?
I was at Knuckle yesterday night.
Oh, he's volunteering.
Having they said they have a thing. They have it every year in Fort Island. A group of guys take kids out there.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
So anyway,
That's those rector kids and all. I don't deal with those.
So anyway, he said you want to go. I said, I'd love to go. You know, anyway, to get away. So I just figured maybe you were going on the boat to run the boat. You'd be peace capable running that boat?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Yeah, that's the one that you sent me.
Yeah, the last time they went, they tore the instead of putting the boat tying the skiff behind him, he left one of them on the side, and it got rough, and it beat the damn boat up. Beat the skiff up. Dumbass, you never do that. You always have on your old boat.
Hey, what they say, it's only money.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of it right now, evidently. He's just spinning it. Already?
Yeah.
But when you fix something and get it finished, you don't want to have to redo it.
Yeah.
Call the October 18th recess meeting to order. Let the record show that all aldermen are present except for Alderman Papania. He is absent. Dr. Barnett, will you lead us in prayer? And Alderman Impey in the pledge, please. Everybody stand.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for a beautiful day here in Ocean Springs, and we thank you for the opportunity to meet tonight. Lord, I pray that all who have concerns will be heard and understood, and you would give this board the wisdom as they make decisions that better our city. We thank you for the privilege of living here. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Cox. Who was the second? Mr. Impey. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tonight we have a presentation from the Gulf Islands National Seashore. The Davis Bayou Superintendent Darrell Eccles is here to give us an update. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Everybody can hear me? There we go. Thank you for letting me be here tonight to, one, introduce you to me and as the new superintendent for Gulf Islands National Seashore, but also give you a little update about a few projects that are happening in the park that may be of interest to the city of Ocean Springs. So my name is Darrell Eccles. I'm the new superintendent here at Gulf Islands National Seashore. I've been here for just a little over a year, so it's taken me a little while to get to the city council meeting, but I finally got here. I'm a 33-year veteran of the National Park Service. Most of my career is in coastal areas. Spent 18 years in South Texas at Padre Island National Seashore. I spent 7 years at Cape Hatteras National Seashore. The last 7.5, almost 8 years in our regional office as the Regional Chief of Science and Natural Resources Management. Then during that time, I was the Deputy Regional Director for a little while, Acting Superintendent of Virgin Islands National Park, and then finally got here to Gulf Islands National Seashore last July. It's been on my bucket list of places to work since 1994. So I'm very happy to be here. I have no intentions of leaving anytime soon. So, a couple things. We have just completed phase 1 of our bike pedestrian path. Some of you may have been out there to see it so far. It's working very well. Had a lot of positive response. It was started in January of this year. It was supposed to be finished in June. Through a little bit of delay through materials and delivery of items, as well as the CSX Railroad requiring a flagger to flag construction for trains passing by, which took about 6 weeks to get scheduled. Made us get a little bit behind schedule, but we actually opened up in September, and it's done very well. Phase 2 and Phase 3 are currently in the works. Phase 2 goes from Robert McGee Road off of Park Road down to the Visitor Center. That project is slated for construction beginning sometime in 2023. We expect it to go to contracting here in this early January. Hopefully get started somewhere around the early part of summer. Phase 3 is currently in the works for 2026. So we're hoping to get it moved up a little bit, but it'll be from the intersection of Robert McGee Road and Park Road down to the campground and the boat ramp. When it's all done, we will have bike pedestrian paths throughout the entire park that tie into the city of Ocean Springs, so providing a new visitor experience. A couple of other projects that may be of interest to the city. The 2 boardwalks at Davis Bayou were damaged by Hurricane Sally and Zeta, thank you. Those are currently in, they've had 100% design. They're in construction drawings now. We hope to start those in the spring and have those completed by midsummer. So those will be underway. The other hurricane project, Ship Island, which had damage to the pier, to the bathrooms, to the housing units that are out there, as well as a few other facilities, finished up last month. It was a little behind schedule simply because of workmanship. The completion of the project was a little behind. We didn't quite get the quality of work we expected. We had to work through that process, but it is now complete and done. The last remaining hurricane project is the government boat docks, which are currently in conceptual design right now. Those will probably start late next year. The last thing I wanted to mention to the council is that if for those of you who've been here for a while, you may recall the Park Service undertaking some planning efforts related to personal watercraft. These are items that are jet skis and sea-doos, not boats. In 2000, the Park Service banned all personal watercraft in national parks across the service, pending the development of a regulation and a plan. The park has gone through 3 planning efforts starting in 2006, 2010, 2018. The final rule, which basically sets a limit off the barrier islands, off the coast of Mississippi, out 300 feet. Your personal watercraft can operate in that buffer at idle speed. Beyond 300 feet, they can operate as normal. They do that to protect the seagrasses along the edges of all the barrier islands of Mississippi. We found that the impacts from personal watercraft typically happen in 3 feet or less in water depth. That distance from shoreline is about 3 feet. So that rule will be published in late December, early January for 30 days, and then we'll implement it after that. It's not a public comment period. We've had comments already up to the 3 planning efforts. The one in 2018 generated 8 comments, 3 wanting more restrictions, 4 wanting less restrictions, and 1 from the Personal Watercraft Industry Association that asked for it to go in as planned, which is what we intend to do. So just wanted to let you know that that's coming. Don't expect it to be controversial. Don't expect it to have any major issues. That's all I wanted to tell you, Mayor, and the rest of the council members, but available for any questions you may have.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I get asked a lot about it.
Fire away.
Golf cart traffic in the park, is it allowable now or is it not
Nope.
allowable?
Golf carts are prohibited in the national park.
Okay.
Is there a way we can start that process? You know, on roads under 30 miles an hour in the city, we allow it, and you have a lot of residents that live there in the back of the park that would like to be able to access into downtown on golf carts.
Park Services evaluated the use of golf carts in Davis Bayou and have found that it's incompatible with the use of the park, so we've denied it. We have no interest in reopening that conversation.
There you
How about your phase 2 project on the pedestrian pathway? What is the plans for that? Are you doing a culvert under the road, or are y'all going to actually do a bridge there?
It's a box culvert. The culvert that exists today is a 24-inch culvert. It's mostly silted in, so we're not getting tidal flow from one side of the road to the other. As the crossing through the bayou on Robert McGee Road, that culvert was replaced with a 20-foot box culvert. That's what will happen on the road on phase 2. We will take the 24-inch culvert out. We will replace it with a box culvert. Some concern with the residents. We've been meeting with the residents off and on for the last several months. The most recent meeting was about 6 weeks ago. Met with 16 of the 18 residents there in the Eagles Nest area. Outlined a variety of options that provide continued access to their housing while this project is going on. Those options included things like water taxis, use of personal boats in secure locations. We evaluated an alternative route through the woods. Quite frankly, that is fraught with legal issues because it crosses private property. We've considered staycations, where we will relocate the residents out for the period of time necessary to replace the culverts, which is anticipated to be 3 to 4 days. We're planning 7, just in case. And then some could stay there, just like they would in a hurricane or post-hurricane, stay there by themselves. When that project takes place, it will take place outside of hurricane season. It will also provide emergency personnel 24/7 while that portion of the project is ongoing. So we'll have an ambulance, we'll have a fire truck, we'll have police presence on that section of the island.
I heard some rumblings about the other alternatives that you were offering. I used to live on Eagle Point, and that culvert was replaced shortly after Katrina, I believe, or Miss Stripe. Isn't that what it was? And it didn't seem like, if you're going back with a box culvert, I don't know if they just did one half or the other, but it wasn't that big of a inconvenience for
The
them.
way it's currently designed is the size of the box culvert doesn't allow us to keep one half of the lane open at one time. It comes in as one
Into
unit.
the other lane.
And so they excavate the area and set the box culvert in, fix it.
Gotcha. I was just curious.
Sure, no problem.
Sounds like you got the same email I got.
All right.
Anybody else have any questions? It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
We thank you for coming and reporting, and it's a great asset to Ocean Springs to have that park there. And, I
Very
know
glad
a lot
to
of
be
our
part of it.
residents enjoy it. So.
Yeah, thank you.
If I can help you, please reach out and let me know.
Thank you, Darrell.
So the next item on the agenda, we have a proclamation. We have some ladies here. Huh? It's not my group now. I know a lot of you. Ladies from Mama Stay, y'all want to come forward, please? Okay. Whereas La Musquet is the oldest women's Mardi Gras crew on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And whereas La Musquet was formed in October 22nd, 1922, and held its first ball during the Mardi Gras season in 1923. And whereas in the fall of 2022, La Musquet celebrates 100th anniversary of its formation. And whereas the objective and purpose of La Musquet is for the pleasure only to promote social activity and to hold a mass ball by its members once a year, every year. Whereas La Musquet has held its annual Mardi Gras ball every year since 1922, except in the years of 1942 through 45 during World War II, 1970 following Hurricane Camille, and 2006 following Hurricane Katrina, in 2021 for COVID. And
And now therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do hereby proclaim October 22nd, 2022 as Les Mosquet Day. And I've been to several of these balls with these ladies, and that's a wild group.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is public comment. The public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum of 30 minutes, only regarding issues listed on this agenda. Please identify yourself and the agenda item that you'd like to address. So if anybody would like to address the board on any agenda item, you may step forward at this time. Okay, we have no old business. First item on new business is to discuss the repair and relocation of the Crow and Pitcher. It's a public art installation, and we have Ms. Melanie Allen here to address the board on this relocation process.
Good evening. Unfortunately, I'm here representing PAPOS, the Public Art Project of Ocean Springs, to say that we've had a theft and a vandalism to one of our pieces. It is the Crow and the Pitcher that is on Cache Alley. For some of you who may remember, this installation was gifted to the city in April of 2013. And within a month, the Crow was stolen. And Allen's group and Public Works, we purchased, and the city purchased another Crow because Papos gifts the sculpture to the city. And that Crow has been in place now for 9 years, but it was stolen, we think, in April or May. So I'm here to discuss possibly replacing that. And as we've discussed with Mindy and with the mayor, looking at moving that sculpture from the current location on Cache Alley, which is way too dark, and it would be foolish of us to take a third chance there. We are recommending, our group is recommending that it go in front of City Hall here to replace Sue's fountain that was there in memory. So again, it's a beautiful piece of artwork. I think our original purchase price was around $7,000, and this is unfortunate, but we can move the sculpture and have it be on display again. So I've given you all some handouts. The first handout is a picture of the actual sculpture. It's the Crow that has been taken. The second page shows you the 8 public art installations that our Papos group has placed around town since 2007. And then the third page is 5 murals that are going up, that are up now. 3 are up and 2 are going up around town. That is a change to what we've been doing in light of changes in our community and the direction from the board to perhaps not purchase as much art that was as expensive to insure. We are now doing those murals, which are enlargements in vinyl that are thermal bonded onto an aluminum composite panel, and those are mounted in different locations. So again, my purpose is to talk about the Crow and the Pitcher.
So we need to purchase another Crow, is what you're saying, and then we
Yes,
will, are we able to
unfortunately.
move that base from its current location and bring it here?
I think Allen's crew can do that. They installed it.
Sounds like a good idea.
It's $1,450 for the new Crow plus shipping. So the artist is requiring a half payment down. I know that presents a problem for the city.
If we can work on what I talked to you about earlier,
Yes.
we can
Keep in mind, Ricky, that the fountain was vandalized right here at City Hall. So, I mean, I know it's a better option here, it really is, but and now we have cameras out front, but
It's a shame.
prone to happen anywhere, and I hate to say that. It's a shame.
It is, but Rob, when you think about the fact that we have 8 pieces that are out, and we rarely have had
This is one.
an issue, so we're grateful for that. Our group is closing in. We're at $96,000 worth of artwork that we have gifted to the city.
Okay, anybody have any questions or comments?
You really don't need a
I
motion.
don't think we need any action on this. Move
I'll
forward
get
with
you
it.
all we talked about earlier.
We're happy to work with you in any way we can. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you for what y'all do. Okay.
Did Mindy want to add anything?
Mindy, do you have anything to add? Okay. Next item on the agenda, new business appeal, Bills Avenue subdivision request to approve a 5-foot side yard setback on lots 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Zoning and Adjustment Board limited to 25% variance.
What you have in front of you, and I'll let Wade fill in some details, and then I've got Kelly's here to speak on it as well, but essentially the request exceeded the ZAB board's ability to grant. So they can only consider up to 25% variance, and the request exceeded that. So there was discussion, but ultimately they could not approve it due to the constraints of the UDC.
It's my understanding that those buildings, although the setback is 5 foot, the buildings are very
Right.
good bit apart.
Well, they're good, but it's done in conjunction with the property next to it. So even though one house may end up with a 5-foot setback rather than the 10, the next one next to it would have a larger setback, so there would still be at least,
It'd be spaced out.
they'd be
Buildings
spaced
are
out
spaced
accordingly. And it's to mostly get around some trees and some other items, but,
2 more pages. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
so, pass that up.
That illustrates the,
Just a
the site
bedroom,
plan that
just a
Carolyn,
bedroom.
Mary, you were talking about. Shows how this is the tentative site plan for each one of the lots, showing the driveway on it would be the south side of the lot, off there on the left side, and then the 5-foot setback would be on the north side or the right side of the screen. And I'll let Kelly describe it in more detail. Jimmy Lane at the ZAB meeting went into detail about how it allows for a bump out on the house. It's not a totally rectangular house that's tentative plan for these lots. So that's kind of the schematic of what is proposed for each one of the lots. But again, the basic problem for the zoning board is it's greater than what they're allowed by the UDC to do. It kind of is pretty clear, and like I say, Kelly can go into more details about the specific designs of each house.
Kelly, you want to talk? Okay.
You gonna help?
512 Dewey Avenue, Ocean Springs. So like Carolyn had said, all of the driveways have been predetermined, and so none of these variances will butt up to one another. All of the homes on Bills Avenue is rear parking required, and so there's no emergency vehicle that would not be accessible to the backyard. We have 4 different widths in this project, and these are the 78-foot wide. And we have found, upon trying to find footprints for spec homes, that there's a bump out in majority of the plans. And for it to aesthetically look correct, it's hard to require rear yard parking and implement the mature landscape that we'd like to do, and that we're requiring for other people who are buying lots and building houses. And so our hopes are that we could obtain a 5-foot side yard variance. And I don't think that we would necessarily implement them on all of the 78-foot wide lots, but it would be a very good option for us to have. For instance, this particular footprint, there's only 24 feet of the home, which I believe the depth of the home is 70 foot, that would actually be on that 5-foot property line. The others would actually sit 13 foot. And so the intentions for the mature trees that we will plant and that we are hoping that prospective buyers will plant is not a problem for right now or maybe 3 or 4 years from now. It's going to be 10 to 15 years from now. And so we don't want this development to be something that falls apart, that there's issues later. We don't want cracked driveways. We want something that we can be proud of as well as the city can. And so it's for aesthetics, but it's also to replace trees. And, you know, we felt like we were not savvy, but we felt like we were thorough in regards to designating where driveways are. And that's on the south side of these lots, these particular 6 lots. So once again, there will not be any driveways butting up to each other, nor will there be any property lines that have 2 variances. So it will be accessible to emergency vehicles. Which, I mean, it's neither here nor there, but prior to obtaining this property and pursuing this project, the concerns were, from majority of you guys we met with, were rear parking, off-street parking, and trees. And unfortunately, we had to take down a good bit of trees, and our hopes are to put them back and do so in an order where it's responsible for future homeowners, like I said, with their driveways, whatnot, chain walls, whatever. And also we want it to be pretty. So we feel like you guys are the ones that can do it. I don't believe that they give PUDs anymore, and so this is the path. So if you have any questions, I'll try to contain her.
Does anybody have any questions for the developer?
Kelly, I was just looking at this map where you have it highlighted here. There's actually 7 lots in this highlighted
There's 7.
area.
I sold a lot on 15 to an individual who has a footprint that works, but he's going to have issues when it comes to landscaping. And that's why this is something that's a little after the thought, because I'm sitting here looking at the next spec homes I intend to build. And unless I just build straight shotgun homes, rectangular homes, they're going to look very plain, or they're going to look very massive, and I'm going to utilize all of my front yard. Okay. So that's the intentions. Like I said, will it be utilized on all of them? I'm not certain, but it's an option we'd like to have.
Okay. Any other questions?
I think it makes sense.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Is there a motion to accept?
I'd like to make
A motion to accept the appeal?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Wade, second by Mr. Aldermen. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
We're granting the appeal?
Yes, granting the appeal. Next item on the agenda, new business, adopt a resolution to request funding from Jackson County for 2 pedestrian signals for the hospital crosswalk on Guilford Road, costing $20,744.40. Alderman Burgess.
Yes, so this is in regards to the crosswalk that is being installed on Guilford Road between Singing River Hospital and the medical clinic. There is a lot of patient traffic as well as staff members that are crossing back and forth. It can be a little treacherous at times, so we are implementing a crosswalk, and the signal signs are the ones that you press the button and then they flash around the edges. So it's not a traffic signal or anything like that, but the county has been kind enough to extend help with this.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Make that motion.
I'll make a motion to request $20,744 from the county for the crosswalks.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the resolution by Mr. Burgess, second by Mr. Cox. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Is there anything that the board would like to pull from the consent agenda?
Carolyn, isn't that address wrong on A? Do I need to pull it to correct that?
That's already corrected.
It's already correct?
Yeah, it was already corrected.
Okay.
Anything?
Nope.
The motion
I'll make a
approved.
motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Mr. Impey,
Second.
second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Department reports. If anyone have anything to pull from the docket of claims?
I'll make a motion to approve docket claims.
Motion by Mr. Impey,
Second.
second by Mr. Aldermen. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Human Resources and Risk Management discuss agreement for reimbursement of education or training-related expenses. Mindy?
At the
Last time I
request
saw
of
you back
several
there.
department heads, we put together a reimbursement for training expenses in excess of $500 for employees, so that they will be presented this before training with the cost and consent to, if they leave voluntarily within 2 years of employment, they would have to reimburse the city. Does anyone have any questions?
How do you collect it?
This is for any training?
Not any training. This would be for specific types of training and training that's in a cost excess of $500.
So once they leave, how is that gonna get collected if they don't wanna pay it?
Well, it can come out of their final paycheck, with the exception of the cost of minimum wage and their vacation payout, if they have that. And then after that, they would be required to pay it.
Mindy, doesn't this decrease with longevity?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So the longer you work, the amount.
Right, but if they don't, I mean, and the sum's pretty large.
Right.
And they have 6 months to pay back after they leave.
You could probably do small claims in whatever city they go to, you could get it that way.
Well, if they go to another city, particularly for police and fire, we could get reimbursed. If they're fairly new, we can get reimbursed for the academy. So within 2 years.
2 years of them completing the academy.
But other training, you would have to go after it if they didn't want to pay it on their own.
If they left before 2 years.
Yeah.
After the 2 years.
After the training.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Do we need a motion to approve this agreement? Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the reimbursement of education or training-related expenses and monies agreement.
Motion by Mr. Blackman,
Second.
second by Mr. Impey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Project manager, we have a report or update on active citywide projects. Sarah? Might want to go up there. Probably easier just to go up there.
Okay, so I'm gonna update you on some current projects. These are only projects that we either have contact with or are active. The first project we have going on is the Front Beach Sidewalk Phase 1, which is the big hole you see on Front Beach right now. They have completed about 40 foot of the footers, the foundations. They're about 6 foot deep. They still have to come back and do the sidewalk panel. Right now, they're just proceeding further down with the sheet piling so they can continue to dig out again and extend the footers. I believe it's 240 foot total. The second project we have active is Parktown Drainage Phase 2, which is the Highway 90 ditch, which runs along McDonald's and behind the Murphy's gas station. And then there's another one in Groveland ditch that runs behind Sales Apartments and the tire place in the shopping center behind Whataburger. Then the third ditch is the cemetery ditch, thank you. It runs behind the Crest Lawn Cemetery. So right now they're just in the Highway 90 ditch around Zaxby's and Murphy's. They've got several sections kind of cleared out and riprap. The next project we thought we were going to kick off is Porter Avenue, which is restriping the intersection of Porter and Highway 90. Unfortunately, we did not receive bids on October 12th, so we're already approved to go out for re-advertisement again. We have reached out to additional contractors to maybe get bids the second round. The next one we have is the CIPP lining, which I'll approve tonight to award to Suncoast. This is the annual contract that's going to help us go across the city and start lining some of our sewer pipes that are, we don't want to dig up, and it'll kind of rehab them. So hopefully we'll kick that off pretty soon. The community center, we've had the damage to the wall assessed. We kind of have a cost estimate, so we're working toward how we can fund that right now. The Mary C, we have 30% plans and specs for the windows. We are moving forward to get a proposal to finish those plans out. That'll probably be a 4-phase project just because it's so large. Marble Springs, so we have the PO for the jail cell. That work should be starting this weekend. They're going to sandblast and paint the jail cell at Marble Springs. They're going to come in Friday and hopefully be done by Sunday. We also have to reach out to Archives to get the gazebo work and the tub work approved in the walkway. Once that's approved by MDA or Archives and History, we'll move forward with that work. Dina Road, I know y'all are dying to hear this one, but we're pending advertisement. We're working with some funding sources that have offered assistance that we haven't got full approval for. Ocean Springs Road, we're just waiting on NDOT to give us permission to advertise, and that'll be advertised. The video and cleaning, I'm in the process of final review on the bid documents, and it'll go out to bid as well. Zeta lift stations, we have 4 control panels. We got to work with the electrician to get them installed. All the wood fences have been replaced. We have 2 chain link fences that still have to be done. General purging, the sewer work is done. The storm drain pipe and material has been ordered. Once it gets in, then that will be done as well. So Gay Lemon storm drain, we got word from the county. We should get the pipe in sometime next week, or this week, next week, and work should be started soon on that. Stillman Road, we're still waiting on asphalt. I'm not sure when the county's going to receive a bid or another contract for that. The lift station 11 rehabilitation, it's under design. That's the lift station that will tie the Groveland force main that was installed to the Jackson County station on Groveland. Gay Lemon, this is separate from the storm drain. This is the awning, the bathrooms, the fencing, all that we met today on, and we're going to get that work kicked off for design. Front Beach Sidewalk Phase 2, there's a lot of other damaged sections of the sidewalk, and we're working, that's under design, so we're working toward replacing about 9 sections of sidewalk. Hopefully at the beginning of the year, that'll get kicked off. And then our Front Beach Event Space and Marina, we're under contract right now for design. They're working on permitting, and we got Public Works did the site demo, and then we'll probably do bulkhead work before we move to the next phase. So that's all that's active right now. We have a lot coming in that we'll get under contract, and it'll be on the next update.
Anybody have any questions about the update here? You can ask about that ditch.
No, I know.
All right.
I thought about it.
Thank you. No.
Appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
got an earful, but he doesn't want to ask about it anymore, so that's no good. Thank you, Sarah. As y'all can see, we got a lot of things going on, and that's only going to continue to grow here in the next 12 to 18 months. So we'll keep you posted. And we'll try to get an update to y'all about once a quarter on projects, active projects. So. Next item on the agenda is general public comment. Public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per side of each issue. If you have anything that you would like to address the board on concerning city business, please identify yourself and come to the podium. Okay. Easy crowd. Oh, there you are. Okay. The agenda item, public comment, was earlier in the meeting. You can come forward and speak to that. That's fine. It's already been dealt with.
So my name is Allison. I'm Pleasant Headley, and I'm a property owner and a business owner here. And I have a property on General Pershing Avenue, and my concern is with the development of 1515 Government Street. The issue is putting the dumpsters and the parking garage on the residential side. I'm concerned with the dumpsters being too close to the residential property, as well as the odor from those dumpsters, noise from pickup and emptying trash and the activity associated with that, as well as increased traffic from putting that parking garage and having that dumpster on the residential side. It seems like it would be more suited to be on the commercial side of that property. And there's already an existing drainage problem that hasn't been resolved, and I've made complaints about it and spoken with Public Works to try to get this addressed, and the infrastructure development may worsen that problem. So those are things that need to be considered before you guys take a vote on this issue.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board on general public comment?
Lottie Gibson. Excuse me. How y'all doing?
Good.
Lottie Gibson and 821 General Pershing. My concern is that the drainage in that area, we've had the issue for several years. And we have, my mom and everything, we've been trying to get things did about the trees and everything. And how it look is, they don't keep it up. When they cut the grass, it's not, it don't look like other people's neighborhood. And I've been in other people's neighborhoods several times. And I see the difference in the way they keep certain neighborhoods and the way they keep some. And this is what I want to say. They cut a tree down and they left the stump. And it didn't solve the problem. We have standing water. We have the problem with mosquitoes. They're everywhere. And at first, we had that problem, but now it's worse. And I've been trying to get somebody to come out and cut the stump and everything, and I get to run around. Just a stump.
Is that on our property?
It's in the ditch.
On Persian? On Persian, just a stump?
Just a tree down.
Okay.
The stump's still there.
Okay.
I want to say something about, go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get did, and also with everything, the traffic in there. I know you have to develop this. It was zoned as commercial and residential. That's what it was zoned. I know this because my mom is 90-something years old, so I know. Okay, if it was zoned commercial and residential, why would you put on the side that's residential, why would you put the dumpsters on that side when the other side is zoned commercial? It don't make sense.
Same thing with the garage.
Okay.
Excuse me?
I said same thing with the parking garage.
Yeah, the same thing. That don't even make sense. If something, to me, my opinion, when y'all first said the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States, to me, that eliminates the whole problem. Everybody's supposed to have justice. Everybody's supposed to have freedom. Not just some people with money. It's not a money thing. If y'all trying to do what God wants you to do, it don't have anything to do with money. It has to do with people, a residential. This is a residential area. This is not a commercial area. This is residential. And we're not trying to keep y'all from developing. You already know Ocean Spring don't have to develop. That's common sense. Anybody can see that. But a residential area, you're going to turn it into a commercial, just complete the commercial, and just alleviate the people that's been there for 90-something years, 80-something years, 70-something years. I mean,
thank you, ma'am.
God see everything, and he's looking down low.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Did you have something?
Thank you.
Did you have?
I just wanted to tell Alan that I went through this where I had a tree cut in the ditch and they left the stump, and I don't know why we just don't get a, when they give us a price on cutting the tree, they just don't give us a price all at one time, because leaving stumps behind is not really nice. And I think it still leaves the ditch obstructed.
This tree here, if we grind that stone, we're gonna be way up in their yard, as big as that tree is.
Well,
Grind it to the property line.
Yeah, means grind it to the property line and get the water flowing on it. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I am Katie Yow, 1219 Parktown Drive. Mr. Mayor and Mike, I would like to know the status of the project in Parktown on the drainage and on my driveway.
That's what we just covered. Miss Sarah gave that update. Work is underway on the ditch between will be Zaxby's and the rear of McDonald's around to the back of the concrete ditch. The cemetery ditch is scheduled soon after that, as well as the ditch on the west side of the Walmart property that runs from 90 to down to Groveland, behind the apartment complex being rebuilt at this time.
You know, Mike, I'm not worried about that back over there at Walmart. I'm worried about the people can get in my driveway. They get like this, and they don't want to puncture their tires when they come to my driveway.
I understand. We've talked about this tree. That tree, Miss Katie, I don't know how many times
I'm not worried about that. The roots
tree's
is
on
getting
private
under the
property.
houses there. My house and the other lady's house.
The tree is on private property. That is not
No,
the
it's
city.
not. How they do the difference?
If it was planted in the center of the road, it'd be a city tree. It is in your
10
yard.
feet
Okay.
from the street is a city.
No, ma'am.
Then you got extra 5. Those trees was planted there when that subdivision was built.
That's true.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want something done now. And what's happened to our drainage money? It's been allocated for many, many years, 40-something years. And I haven't seen nothing done out there. And I've been there.
I thought
I'm
we
going to
discussed
check
the
it out.
drainage.
I am going to check it out.
Okay. As far as that drainage project goes, Miss Katie, it looks like Sarah just reported on $620,000 worth of work that's being done out there. If anyone else would like to address the board? Okay, thank y'all. Moving on to Mayor and Alderman's Forum, Alderman Burgess.
Yeah, just really quickly, Alan, Sarah, thank you for meeting with me, and we highlighted those 5 projects. Alan, tomorrow you said that you guys are going to look at the crosswalk and see how much, okay, and measure that, okay. And Stephen, I need to get with you, Stephen, on an update on
Workforce has it submitted. I sent them to Scott. He has got back to me. He's going to do each one, but I'll have it to you by the end of the week.
That would be great, just a status on those. I think there's only like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I sent them all when you sent that email. And,
Okay.
but I'll get over to them and get it by Friday. No problem.
Perfect, thank you. That's all I got.
Alderman Altamont.
I just want to tell everybody that helped with cruising the coast, thank you. It was a very good success, especially for the amount of turnout we had this year. And I know it took a lot of time from the department heads and stuff to make that happen, so I appreciate it.
Okay, Alderman Wade.
Thanks, Alan, for all your hard work.
Anything in particular?
Just in general.
Alderman Cox.
I'm good, Mayor.
Alderman Blackman. Alderman Impey.
Okay, I was asked to make a motion here. This is from our city clerk here. Need to make a motion to authorize road closure of Government Street between Magnolia Avenue and Ward Avenue, set up to allow parking at OS Lumber parking lot on October 28th and 29th from 5 to around 9 o'clock for the Spooky Springs event at the very season.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Impey, second by Mr. Cox. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
for everybody that's not familiar, I mean, we don't do the trick or treat down the street anymore. That got it really expensive for the business owners, but we've transferred events to the Mary C. And part of that is a haunted house is being set up in the Mary C. For those that don't know, the Ocean Springs Theater Department at the high school was selected from a nationwide pool of theater departments to go to Scotland next year in an international competition, and they are putting on the haunted house, and they're accepting donations. This is part of their continued effort to raise money for that trip to Scotland next year for that international competition, and where they will be representing the United States in that competition. So big deal for Ocean Springs High School and these students. They worked really hard to earn that right, and I know they appreciate everyone's support. And even though he's not here, happy birthday to Alderman Pena. I mean, he might have celebrated a little too much for his birthday. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple items. Tomorrow night at the Jackson Pearl, the Chamber is hosting their Walter Anderson Museum of Art Blue Moon event. Tickets are on sale at the Chamber office. Thursday night, the city is doing its first cemetery tour, and Sarah, Q, and Raven, and some other folks, Cynthia, have been working really hard on this, and I think it's going to be a really neat event. So I'd encourage you to come out and learn some history about the city of Ocean Springs. And then after that, at the Mary C., shortly after that, Songs and Stories with the Mississippi Songwriters Association, and that should be a nice event also. Raven, am I missing anything? Okay. We have no executive session tonight, so we entertain a motion to adjourn until 6 p.m. Tuesday, November 1.
So moved.
Okay.
Let the entire board.
Motion by the board, second by the board. All in favor?
Just say empty and Bobby.
Wait.